I think we are becoming really more aware, finally, that the United States, no matter how big it is not a country that can take care of itself all by itself.
If you don't know what's going on, then you're kind of closed in your own little bubble, and you have more open opinions about everything. It's just better overall. Like, it helps you develop as a person too if you know what's happening in other parts of the world.
It's good for us to know what is going on in other countries. We continue to be a melting pot, and yet we want perhaps at times to close ourselves off from understanding the cultures that surround our nation.
As a student, you kind of are the one who's going to be leading the country or the world and have the biggest influence. You're also learning about things that other people don't necessarily have the opportunity to learn about. So you are at a major advantage for coming up with solutions to world problems. You don't realize that you might not be at a disadvantage. You don't experience these problems firsthand. So I think understanding where people are coming from is just really important.
And it's really a good idea for us to interact with the people of other countries and with world leadership. And so the more educated our young people are in the dealings that we have with other nations, the more likely we are to succeed.
Hi, I'm Neil Amuraku. I teach Global Studies and Political Economy at Fairhaven College. The World Issues Forum started in my very first year and my very first quarter in Fairhaven College. It's a part of Fairhaven College for a number of reasons. One is we have a very strong focus on social justice and critical theory in our curriculum and in our pedagogy.
My name is Yoo-Kyung Young. I am Associate Professor in College of International Study in Kyunghee University, South Korea. Actually, in my home university, we had this kind of some guest speaker about this Global Issue Forum. I find it's very important. It's interesting kind of opportunity for students. Why? Because students are always excited by outsider, and they more pay attention. And also when we invite these people for global issue talk, then we have some expertise, right? So I think it's going to be interesting opportunity for students to have some different kind of idea from outsider and for expertise.
We want our students to be aware of the ways in which the world is structured and the ways in which the world works.
I'm happy to see there a lot of question engagement. When I compare with my experience when I was college student and now, this college student now, it's very different. These students now have a lot of information and they are also very outspoken, right? So that you cannot say students may not have influence because they are still young. No, I don't think so, because it's important we have some good communication among people. And students also important part of this kind of, internal communication. So in that sense, student understanding their interest, it's very important.
It helps us get involved in the world and what is just outside of Bellingham itself. And I think it's just been taught that knowing what's happening in other places is just good for you overall, because maybe one day it will affect you and you'll have to deal with that and know why. But if you don't know why, then you can't really understand what's happening. Because people want to see change, and if you don't act towards it, then nothing gets done. So if you try to get something done and you have other people help you, then it's just easier to make that happen.
I think it's important to understand the people you're interacting with And so when our students are looking for a future, I think doing Peace Corps is really good. Also studying abroad. I love to see students interacting locally with people of other cultures. There are a lot of ways that students can expand outside of themselves here. I think it's really important to undertake something that gets you outside of your little bubble and out into the world.